Американские военные оказались в центре нового международного скандала.
Министерство обороны России обвинило США в экспериментах над людьми в Грузии.
Умерли десятки пациентов, или, правильно сказать, подопытных.
В лаборатории разрабатывали биологическое оружие.
При проведении экспериментов с грузинскими гражданами
Подавать данные по разработке биооружия и опытах над людьми. Сегодня мы впервые расскажем о том, какие эксперименты проводили американцы над...
The source of the allegations against America, the very basis of the news story being reported in the Russian state media, is this mass of documents. Now, they were revealed recently by the former head of Georgian state security, Igor Giorgadze, an ex-KGB man who fled to Russia a few years back. For example, there's this document from a US pharmaceutical company. Now, Giorgadze's website says this is proof that experiments on humans did take place here, that Georgian citizens were administered US drugs which hadn't been clinically approved, and with fatal results. This form suggests that in December 2015, 30 Georgians who were being treated for hepatitis C died, seemingly 27 of them on the same day. Giorgadze links this to a US-built laboratory in Tbilisi. But is there any truth to this? So there's a contact name on this document, Georgi Khatilishvili. We're on our way to meet him. So these are real documents?
Yes, these are real documents.
And this is your name?
Yeah, that's my name.
Mr. Giorgadze claims that these documents indicate that with US drugs, experiments will be conducted on humans. Is that right?
Of course, it was not. The whole world knew this program. It was to eliminate hepatitis C in Georgia. It's strange that Mr. Giorgadze showed this to people, claiming that it is kind of experiments, because the whole world is treating with this kind of drugs.
But the claim is that in December 2015, 30 Georgians died who were receiving medicine, and apparently 27 on one day.
It's not on one day. It's kind of statistical information. This is amount of people dead or had adverse event in 1 month. The reason people was dying on this project was because at first we tried to cure the high liver damaged people, but 36,000 people were cured, and maybe 200 of them were dead and had adverse events.
Is there any element of truth in what Mr. Giorgadze says about this?
No, definitely not. Yeah.
It's a lie.
It's a lie, yeah, of course it's a lie.
Практически одномоментная гибель большого числа добровольцев дает основание полагать, что в центре Лугара под видом лечения была проведена оценка высокотоксичного химиката либо биологического агента.
Через 400 метров держитесь левее. Через 200 метров держитесь правее.
So here we are. This is the National Centre for Disease Control, which deals in public health protection for Georgians. And in this complex is the so-called Richard Lugar Research Centre. That's what Russian state media have dubbed the laboratory of death. Now, we've been given access here so we can see for ourselves.
we are not treating here patients. We are not making here in Georgia the clinical trials of this drug, because this drug is already known drug. This is the public health and high-level research institution. Nothing to do with biological weapons.
Another claim by Moscow is that there is some link between your laboratory and these US patents for drones to spread specially infected mosquitoes to attack an enemy.
Where's the evidence that we are doing here this? Can they show us the evidence that the Georgia is somewhere here mentioned?
Два этажа нового здания полностью отведены подразделениям сухопутных войск США.
Maybe we are storing somewhere. Sadarian, where's the American soldiers here?
Those claims coming out of Russia are complete nonsense. They are disinformation.
Why do you think this is happening now?
So it is our belief that Russia is spreading disinformation about subjects such as the Lugar Center in order to divert attention from their own bad behavior and create smokescreen for what they are doing.
The thing about disinformation, fake news, is that a lot of it sounds plausible until you stop and start picking apart what you're being told. And this story, as Moscow has been telling it, is factually incorrect. As we've seen, there were no experiments on humans. What there was a national program to tackle hepatitis C in Georgia using standard approved drugs. And 2 floors of that building we were in had not been given over to the American military as had been claimed. What's more, the lab has invited the Russians and the World Health Organization to come and take a look round. They say they have nothing to hide.
Потому что если вы хотите действительно узнать, что происходит в лаборатории, то ее нужно не посещать, а инспектировать. Это разные вещи. Посещение как с музейной экскурсии нас не интересует.
Так вот, новые факты, а они были приведены 11 сентября на пресс-конференции, ставят вопрос об истинных целях и задачах американских военных в Грузии.
You say these were facts. These are not facts. These are factually incorrect. Mr. Giorgadze says that experiments were conducted on humans. But if you look at the evidence, the so-called evidence he has provided, there is no proof at all of any experiments.
Знаете, если у вас сейчас нет доказательств, это не значит, что их нет вообще. Вы согласны?
Under the heading Experiments on People, your website says that this document proves that drugs which had not been clinically approved were given to Georgian citizens. It says that on your website. But these drugs had been clinically approved.
То, что вы читали на сайте, это заключение тех, кто анализировал. Я это еще не озвучивал и не озвучиваю.
But do you have evidence that drugs which had not been clinically approved were given to Georgian patients?
Нет, у меня нет вообще никакого желания что-то доказывать. Я ставлю вопросы. Вы отвечаете. Вот сейчас вы ответили, сказали, что это ничего не доказывает. Хорошо, давайте мы наше интервью мы повесим на сайт после того, как вы его передадите у себя. И мы будем понимать, что есть одна сторона, которая говорит доказывает, вторая нет.
Is this not simply, in a word, disinformation?
Не знаю. Не знаю.
What What has struck me most, I think, about the story of the lab is that those who deal in disinformation seem to feel under no obligation at all to back up their allegations, their stories, with hard evidence. It's like they've said it, it's out there, job done. And when you say to them, just a minute, there's no proof, they say, well, that doesn't mean it's not true. It's as if they're creating a whole alternative reality to spread confusion. And the result is that the line between fact and fiction is increasingly blurred.